tightly to Lord. Those who don't, they need real badly. So they rob and kill like thieves, try anything just to stay alive. Man must survive, capitalism is choking, stifling this country. Come let us raise up and try again. This land is enough for all to share, and there is no reason why any man should live in despair. Each endeavoring, all achieving. Why don't we practice what we are preaching? We cannot not at all continue, no. Envious, greedy, conniving, blood sucking at the truth. Past them before. No more, I say no more. If prosperity is to come to the shore, I say we must share, brother, share. While we are here, otherwise we may find that we are no more. Confusion overlays the land. Hopelessly we stand before exploitation. All them Syria and them foreign banks, they are sucking the very lifeblood from this island. All like Jew and rice will encourage much more inflation. They want too much profit from the pocket of the poor man. The prices are rising though, our salary still are low, and they don't give a damn if this country come or go. Where is my government? Where is my government? I sweating, I catching hell. They're doing well, although this land is enough for all to share, and there is no reason why any man should live in despair. Each endeavoring, all achieving. Why don't we practice what we're preaching? We cannot not at all continue, no. This envious, greedy, conniving, blood sucking at the truth. Past them before. No more, I say no more. If prosperity is to come to the shore, I say we must share, brother, share. While we are here, otherwise we may find that we are no more.
To the Lord.
Insincerity, yes, the hypocrisy of this voracious system is butchering you and me. Well, they don't give a damn about the common man. They only dig in their greedy paws into this nation. Tourism, they say, is our main industry, but who own and control all them hotels here in this country? The English, Canadians, Americans, and I hear now them Germans channeling most of the money out of this island. It will never circulate unless we make them give when they take. They should learn to share the cake. All must partake. I say this land is enough for all to share, and there is no reason why any man should live in despair. Each endeavoring, all achieving. Cannot not at all continue, no. This envious, greedy, conniving, blood sucking at the truth. Past them before. No more, I say no more. If prosperity is to come to the shore, I say we must share, brother, share. While we are here, otherwise we may find that we are no more. My brethren, would you make a choice? I want to hear you like the mighty thunder song your voice. Would you live in love and share with your fellow man? Or would you rather live like a savage beast and destroy this land? Who don't want to work and share the fruits of this country? We don't want them here, they can leave immediately. There's no time to fool around. We must cultivate the ground, don't wait on the government. This land is our daily bread, destruction is setting in. Destitution brings ruin, world pressure is dragging us down. We have no time Why don't we practice what we're preaching? We cannot not at all continue, no. This envious, greedy, conniving, blood-sucking attitude. Past them before. No more, I say no more. If prosperity is to come to the shore, I say we must share, brother, share, while we are here. Otherwise we may find that we are no more. Blood.
Yes, folks, good afternoon. I'm back once more. JefroyMorrishaw coming to you live and direct from the Gaza here in the Boogie Down Bronx. It's now 5:29, 29 minutes ago. I came live and apparently there was some technical issues with the audio. You know, when it comes to JefroyMorrishaw, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, but that matter seems to be resolved according to the online folks. They're now hearing the sound coming through. So I appreciate that. I want to apologize for those technical difficulties. As I started out earlier, I'm going to go right back there with it. This afternoon, this evening, I am coming to you live and direct, and just have to keep the things real. You know, as I said earlier, Brother Dwyer Stefan has a commentary there today, and he's right up the alley of where I need my conversation to be this afternoon. Because, you know, not too long ago, just over a year ago, we had a very cantankerous, very stressful time in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. We had a government that was taking advantage of its people and not doing the right thing by the people. And many of us had to stand up and stand out, the foot soldiers as they call them. You know, I have been hearing Brother Big Lice, Duncan Big Lice Watley, the man Curtis Cook, and many others in our community shouting out about the people that was in the trenches who were called foot soldiers are getting disrespected and not getting what is due and stuff like that. Well, this afternoon, I'm going to start off right there in Bastia. I'm going to start right there at the Carnival office. You know, I'm going to be speaking to you, the people. I'm looking for you to give me your views, educate me on your experiences and how you feel about the situation. Because I want to believe that we have seen a decline in our culture there in terms of our carnival, now changed to sugar mass, and we should be trying our best to encourage people to participate and try to help them as much as we can, but not trying to put all these restrictions on our people to stop them from making a dollar if there's a dollar to be made. And I'm speaking directly in regards to my brother there, Brother Clement Monarchogaro, the director of Carnival, of Sugar Mass. You know, I had a conversation with him earlier in the week there about something someone brought to my attention and the Carnival web page and Facebook social media. And I took the time out to follow up with him to find out what it's all about. And during the conversation, it became very cantankerous. You know, it's like he's not someone that you can reason with, someone you can speak to, you cannot give an opinion, because if you give an opinion, you're telling them what to do, and they're in charge, they're large and in charge. But I just want to tell you, Brother Governor, you know, I am not here to tell anyone what to do, neither Prime Minister, Governor General, Attorney General, or anyone. But I think as a citizen, I have a right to give my opinion if I see something that's sitting right. And the people, when they come to me with their issues, I think I have a right to echo those issues. I also was informed by Brother Monarch that the discussion I was having with him, that Brother Abernathy Libert is the chairman of the subcommittee for the Calypso. And I had a chat with Brother Abernathy about the situation, and he was very receptive to the conversation and said that he looked forward to these kind of dialogues. People have a right to give their opinion, and sometimes folks and committees could overlook stuff. And as a result, other people can bring some light to situations and changes can be made. So you're gonna get into the conversation this evening. But before we get into the conversation, I'm going to go back and drop Brother Dwyer Astafan's commentary, because it's talking about our mindset, our thinking, and how we deal with our people. So,
Greetings. In the last commentary, we discussed the education system. And in the two previous ones, we had discussed crime and punishment and related matters. Today, I invite you to discuss something that is critically important with regard to both education and crime, and to more, to everything. Yet it is overlooked by many of the world's education systems and societies. The thing which I invite you to discuss today is the key to our success and sustainability as human beings, as nations, and as a planet. I speak of something which controls our thought, our reasoning, our memory, our speech, our emotions, our senses, our breathing, our hunger, our thirst, our movement, and our other bodily processes. Yes, it does not operate on its own, but it is for sure the command center of the human body and human activity, period. I'm speaking of the human brain, and my argument today is that every activity in which we are involved must be directed to development of the human brain and health of the human brain and effectiveness and efficiency of the human brain. It is because of the impressive evolution of the human brain that mankind has achieved so much. It takes 25 years or so for our brain to fully develop, and it is our experiences over that 25-year period, especially during the earlier years, which determine how developed, how active, how effective, how healthy our brains will be, and how effective, productive, balanced, and stable we will be, individually and collectively and globally. This thing is focused on the brain, and we're not paying sufficient attention to the brain, brain health, brain efficiency, brain effectiveness, brain development. We are not. Remember, those formative years are when the foundation is laid. And a weak foundation makes for a weak structure. And the structure is weak. This is not mystical or mysterious stuff. This is straightforward basic science and common sense. The brain is at the very center of our individual, collective, and global success, which means that the brain must receive top priority in terms of making sure it is healthy, developed, and efficient. If we do that, then we will raise better children, we'll be better educated, we'll be better socialized, we'll be better acculturated, and our outlooks and practices and policies and systems will be more efficient, effective, and sustainable. Doesn't this sound obvious? To me it does. Yet, as I said earlier, it is not getting the prioritized attention that it deserves and demands. This is a major, if not the major explanation for the foolishness, the violence, and the destruction that human beings are perpetrating with and to each other and to the planet. Greedy, powerful people are destroying forests and other habitats and ecosystems so that they can make more money. They are destroying people and cultures so that they can make more money and have more power. They are producing poisons, which they call foods, that make people sick, underproductive, and poor, and dead, while they, the producers, and the pharmaceuticals, and other businesses in the so-called health sector, make zillions of dollars. They are manipulating oil and other prices to make themselves richer. They don't care about us. And countries, their leaders backed and under the influence of these greedy, powerful people, are spending more money on missiles and other weaponry that are intended to destroy human beings and the planet, not to preserve, enhance, empower, sustain, and save. We live in a world in which nobody trusts anybody. More resources are spent on destroying people and the planet than on providing food security and safety and climate resiliency. More resources are spent on destruction than on building and uplifting and saving people and communities and nations and the planet. Is that putting our brains to the best use? Well, as endowed as we are in terms of brain power, we are still being deprived of the opportunity to be more productive, to be happier, to be safer, and to live more sustainably. And it is all in the brain. In my cynical moments, I'm often tempted by the thought that the folks who make the major decisions in the public and private sectors around the world prefer to rule over people who are under-socialized, under-educated, under-acculturated, and developmentally deficient. I am tempted to believe that they want to turn us and keep us into dim-witted, distracted, spending-crazed automatons, always in conflict and fierce competition against each other, and always missing out on the most important point, that human collaboration and cooperation are better, indeed are necessary for our survival and success. The misuse and abuse of the human brain. Somebody needs to write that book that has caused so much destruction to humanity and the planet. In the private sector, the driving force is to squeeze as much profit as possible out of consumers, workers, and governments. Profit and advantage. The same private sector, and I'm speaking in general global terms, dangles, entices, and seduces people to spend and spend again, and it uses the variety of means at its disposal to dangle, entice, and seduce the money out of you. I'm not convinced that they hold dear to their hearts a driving interest to uplift us and participate in the process of making us better people, better nations, and a better world. I am convinced to the contrary, actually. To a large extent, the political sector has not been much different so far, and leaders in both sectors have lived parasitically off each other, helping out each other, often at the expense of everybody else. We are encouraged by both sectors into competition, competitiveness, and conflict with each other, to try to keep up with the latest, to live now for now, to be preoccupied with nonsense and violence, and to eat and live unhealthily. Misuse and abuse of this enormous power and potential we have that sits in our brains, if only our personal and national and international approaches to life addressed the development of the brain, which would make all of the difference. Don't get me wrong, competitiveness does not have to be a bad thing. But instead of having us compete to be better than each other, why not just try to be the best that we can be ourselves? Let me bring out the best Dwyer that I can bring out, and let you bring out the best you that you can bring out. Stay in your lane. Think for yourself. Think of others. Be the best you can be. And let my best and your best be part of the overall effort to make life better for everybody. Because better than means that there is also worse than. And the mentality and culture of better and worse bring out arrogance for those who think they are better, envy, insecurity, a sense of failure, despair and depression, and a host of other mental and emotional toxins that can do us no good, whether those of us who think we are better or those of us who think we are not. We as humanity can do better and can be better. Just use the brain. Government policies, private sector policies, social stakeholder policies, training people to be proper parents, values, morals, discipline, determination, perseverance, frustration, tolerance, respect, civility, hard work. The brain possesses the potential to unleash all of those good things. We have to change our mentality, however, and our approach to education, to social and cultural development, and to governance in all sectors and situations must change. We have to get serious about the development and functioning of our brains, because that is what is going to change the world for the better. I want you all to trust me on this one. The key to changing mankind for the better lies in the human brain. Imagine a St. Kitts Nevis with more critical thinkers, more reasoning and less emotion, more knowledge and less ignorance, greater self-control rather than explosive tempers and violence, more alert citizens who demand that leaders in the public and private and social and economic communities operate at a higher, more transparent and efficient standard, which higher standard we will apply to ourselves as individuals. More cooperation and appreciation, less competition and conflict, greater economic and social productivity, rather than more and more of us depending on welfare to the resources generated by less and less of us. What we are doing here and what we are doing globally makes no sense. It makes a nonsense of the tremendous brain potential that we have and are not using and misusing and abusing. In the home, in the preschool, in the social groups, primary and secondary school, we must provide the mix, the stimulation, the guidance, the sense of happiness and love, honor, respect, responsibility, the capacity of the human brain to guide us in that direction if only we put the right data into it. As I said, and I'm repeating, but it's important, every government, every business, every policy must be geared towards bettering and strengthening the human brain. If we do that, we'll be good, and others will follow. I mentioned last week about changing our education system. If CARICOM doesn't want to do it, let us do it. I caution us. And if you agree, you need to press and agitate and advocate for change in all of these aspects of life in this country. You have to make your voices heard. We and the world are on the brink of failure, and it's mostly because of underused, misused, abused, and underdeveloped brains. It's mostly because of stupidity and short-sightedness, which reign over common sense and vision. It's mostly because greed and arrogance reign over compassion. And it's mostly because fierce and foolish competitiveness reign over brother and sisterly love and cooperation. This is not rocket science, it is common sense. And it is the right and urgent and necessary thing to do. Read about the brain and the power of the brain. Learn about it. Understand what a developed brain can do for you, for your family, for your community, for your country. And it's different parts of the brain that you need to understand and how they affect and guide us in our behavior, in our outlooks. Once you get to understand what the brain can do, then you will understand that the brain has been put to bad use, underuse, misuse, abuse. Our major salvation, short of the glory of God, our major earthly salvation, and perhaps even spiritual, because a more developed brain will also expand our spiritual dimension. We have to change. We have to develop our brains and our brain power. We are not doing it. Thank you for listening.
Yes, so that is the commentary for Brother Dwyer Astafan today. Very timely and informative commentary. And I play that commentary first today because my next segment deals with, like I said, Sugar Mars 52. And I am somewhat very disappointed in my brother there, Brother Clement Monarch Ogaro, with the conversation we have had, right? Now, many people believe that they have a certificate, they have papers for whatever degrees they go out there and they get, and they believe they're the smartest people. Many of us who don't have these university degrees. Many of us who have. Either way, doesn't mean that we are the smartest people in the world. I'm going to invite you, the general public. By the way, your online viewers who shared the page earlier, I had to shut down that feed because of technical difficulties on the audio line. So you can please refeed the page so that, share the live so that folks can get into the conversation. I also want to say good afternoon to Brother Austin Williams, the dancing commissioner. He's still here hanging with us in the New York metropolitan area. So welcome, my brother, and I hope all is well. Now, someone who is not even a Kittitian, who have never been to St. Kitts, over the weekend, they brought my attention to something that's on Facebook. And the conversation was, Jeff, what you all going on with down there in St. Kitts? Why you all putting people through all this stress for 500 EC? What is 500 EC? And I didn't really catch what it was. But eventually, I had a phone call with my brother, the Monarch. And he is the new director of Sugar Mars 52. He took over from the young lady that was there under the previous administration. And I brought it to his attention, and he said to me, well, the information is there on the Carnival website, and it's on our social media page and all of that good stuff. So anyone could go there and say it. So I brought to his attention that there is 3 artists I'm working with out of the diaspora, 1 out of St. Croix, 2 out of the New York area. And I registered them, but I have not got any response from the Carnival committee in regards to whether they received the email or what. And he's telling me they don't normally communicate like that to the artists. I said, well, if you all don't communicate, you ask someone to go to a portal to register. You have email, you have phone contact numbers, and you don't reach out to the people. He said, well, no, the past practice is that they ask for a phone number, and if you register, they communicate with you via WhatsApp. And I told him, I said, that doesn't make sense. Basically, someone as large as a Carnival committee, a structure like that, need to communicate directly with the artists and let the artist knows what the requirements are, what the policies are. Putting something out there on your social media page such as that does not make sense. You need to communicate directly with the artist. Well, that in itself, I guess, touch a nerve because it become combative from there. Now I'm going to read what is on social media for those of you who might not have seen it. And you can give your input, whether you're on guard with what I'm saying or not, because I am not perfect. I am not the brightest scholar out there. I'm just a little black boy there from the village of St. Paul, St. Kitts. But on the Carnival page, it has a symbol of a cash bag. And it says EC $500 cash for the first release for Sugar Mars 52. Basically, whichever Calypsonians release their song for Sugar Mars 52 will receive 500 EC. Now, I know Brother Monarch has been involved in the Calypso business, the soca business, the recording business, and Brother Monarch should know that 500 EC is not even a drop in the bucket for someone to record a song. So as we go further into the release, you will understand why I'm concerned about this $500 EC. And it says, in line with the St. Kitts National Carnival Committee's commitment to support the local music industry, a cash award of 500 EC will be given to the senior Calypsonian who released the first Calypso for Sugar Mars 52. The Calypsonian must participate in at least one stage of the 2023 St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Calypso competition, elimination, semifinals, or finals. Now, again, is a stretch because the Calypsonians, they start off at the 10th level. If they're going to participate, they do a jingle, they do a song, and basically they're going to a 10th. Following the 10th, Monarch knows, Carnival Committee knows that these bands with their 10ths, their respective Calypsonian goes to what you call the elimination process. So once you go through elimination process, naturally, if you're qualified, you're going to go to the semifinals. Naturally, you're going to go to the finals if you make it to that level. So all of this information to me is a waste of time. But anyway, that is what they do. That was not the concern, really. I tried to explain to Brother Ogaro that he and I knows that many of these Calypsonians there in St. Kitts Nevis do not have the finances to go and record a song, to put on radio station, even to put out in social media. Many of them wait until the first 10th, when it's recorded at the Calypso 10th. That is when the radio stations, ZIZ and the other station, get the songs to play, because some of them just don't have the fans. These are facts. So to talk about first song release is one thing, but is the qualification for getting this $500, which I had an issue with. So as I continue, it says to qualify for the award, Calypsonian must release their songs during an official full-length interview on a radio station, either in St. Kitts or Nevis. Internet releases, online platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, TikTok, webpage, etc., will not be recognized. And that is nonsense. And why I say this is nonsense, and I say to Brother Monarch, it is nonsense, because you, the Carnival Committee, is using these same platform to send out your information, to circulate your information. The 1 or 2 radio station in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether Freedom FM, Win FM, ZIZ, Van Radio, they use the same format. They use YouTube and whatever sound, other media outlet out there to get the information out. So why would you want to put this kind of pressure on the local man who might be trying to, as a matter of fact, these platforms and social media, YouTube, Facebook, such as this program, some of these platforms have a more wider listening audience than the local stations in St. Kitts and Nevis. So why you want to limit the qualification for getting 500 EC to whether or not they release on the local stations in St. Kitts? That I have an issue with, and I brought it to his attention. And when I finish reading this thing, I'm going to play some clips of Brother Monarch's response to me, which means I know he's not in tune with the conversation. He's not understanding that we have come way beyond that. After 52 years of doing this carnival, back in the days, Facebook and YouTube and them was not there. They're in the mix now, and they must be utilized. ZIZ utilize them. Freedom FM utilize them. Van Radio utilize them. 20 Vision Radio utilize them. Win FM utilize them. So why you're telling the Calypsonians that they cannot utilize these platforms for their release? There's ways of controlling and knowing who released first. So as we continue, the chairperson of the Calypso subcommittee must be notified via telephone or email at least 24 hours before the scheduled date of a release. That I can work with. That I can live with. Because at least you are giving the Carnival Committee advance notice to take time out and verify whether or not they hear release or not. So that part of the clause I don't have a problem with. And I told Brother Monarch this. In this case, the chairperson of the Calypso subcommittee is Abanati Laibad, which I had a conversation with. Now, continue down. After the official release, a copy of the Calypso must be submitted to an email in MP3 format, and the email is provided. Within 48 hours, the email submission should include the name of the Calypsonian, the Calypso name of the producer, the release date, the radio station, and that facilitate the release. Again, there's no need for all of this. You already said contact the subcommittee chairman. The subcommittee chairman will have this information on hand, and it should end there. But it goes on, making life harder for the Calypsonians again. It goes on. It says the music accompaniment for the Calypso must include a fusion of at least 5 of the following instruments. These instruments can include drums, percussions, piano, bass, guitar, rhythm guitar, bass synthesizers, strings, lead vocals, background vocals to ensure high quality finished product. These instruments must be professionally recorded and mixed and mastered. Now, again, this particular section of the requirement for a simple measly 500 EC is way beyond the 500 EC. I took the time out and I reached out to several producers, several recording studios, including the chairman of the subcommittee, Carnival subcommittee, Brother Abanati Laibad. I reached across to the Virgin Islands. I reached out to Al Baptist's son, Alwyn Baptist in St. Croix. I reached out to Malvern Gums in the Virgin Islands to find out what it costs to record a song. And you're talking about to do a simple song at the lowest level is in the range of 950 US to 1,000 US at the basics. When you talk about Frankie McIntosh and these guys here in New York, you're talking about over 2,500. And if these guys have to travel to the Virgin Islands or to New York to get a song recorded, Monarch know what these things are. He's been involved in it. So why would you want to put your local poor Calypsonians through all of this nonsense to because you have something in your mind? You got a particular person that you would like to get 500 EC. 500 EC is that important, so you put this pressure on everybody else. I look at a young lady there, a very good vocalist, a very good vocalist. I see her get some knockabout in St. Kitts in the last couple of years doing Calypso. I saw her get knockabout again during Culturama in Nevis. Lady composer. Her daughter arrange and do all of her music. This lady just finished Culturama in Nevis. She did not make it to the finals. She should have made it to the finals. She was knocked out for whatever reason. So you're telling me that after being kicked out of a competition in St. Kitts, December to January, again, she was kicked out of a competition in Nevis for Culturama just last couple of weeks, August. And she must find money to go and record a song that will cost in excess of 1,000 US to fulfill these requirements to get 500 EC. Which part of that makes sense? Monarchy does not make sense. Shannon Harley, Brother Samuel Duggins, Brother Abani Libert, these things does not make sense. If you guys trying to build a culture, come up with a better idea, a better understanding. If this is what Monarch gonna come with, then he need to go back to just writing press releases. He's not ready for the directorship. Dwyer spoke about putting square peg in round holes, and this is what I'm seeing here. Monarch knows better, and I challenge him. And I'm gonna let you guys hear these responses Monarch gave me to each of my questions. You know, it was supposed to be a conversation, end up becoming an explosion because I am typing and he's sending his voice note, basically cussing my ass out. You know, it does not make sense. These people, they're out there struggling like all of us. We fight and get a government that we think should be there for the people. And the government that is there for the people and trying to do the best for the people. You got these people in these various positions that is pressuring the local people. And when they pressure the people, who you think gonna get the blame? Is the government. And when election time come around again, what do you think gonna happen? There ain't gonna be no government because they're gonna change. These people that are in these positions that are doing the nonsense, a lot of them, they were supporting Timothy. They were supporting Timothy and his nonsense. They were supporting the farmer and his nonsense. And Labour in their good heart, the Prime Minister in his good heart and his good settings, they figure all of us must eat and they give them a chance. But they come in there and they're still pressuring people. These requirements does not make sense to get 500 EC. The musical accompaniment for the Calypso must include a fusion of at least 5 of the following instruments. These instruments can include drums, percussion, piano, bass guitar, rhythm guitar, brass synthesizers, strings, lead vocals, and background vocals to ensure a high quality finished product. These instruments must be professionally recorded. I spend sleepless nights in recording studios, recording songs with vibrational roots, small axe, element, Lord Kent, Miko, this and that, King Abstinent, Short Shirt, name it, Bugna and all this, name it, Element. I know what is entailed for what these people is asking for. 500 EC does not cut it. And if you're talking about you are giving 500 EC to the first Calypso that release, you don't need to have this on social media. You send this information to the Calypsonians that register. You put out a start date for the registration and a closing date, and you let them know. Basically, these are what we are doing. But you are using the social media for your publicity. But you don't want the Calypsonian to use it for their benefit. But you, the Carnival Committee, you have a right to do it. And that's the problem we have there in our beloved federation. We got politicians locking up the poor man for smoking a spliff, for breaking and larceny, which is illegal, for speeding. You get ticket for parking and a white line, I mean a yellow line. All kind of nonsense. But the white collar criminal that is in the public office stealing millions, they walk free. And that's what's going on in the Carnival Committee. There's a lot of wastage in the Carnival Committee. Money spent in areas that should not be spent. But when it comes to the simple Calypsonians that will make Carnival great, you pressure them. And I will not stand by and watch you all pressure them. I can say to the Carnival Committee, Mighty Pat song will release tonight on this platform. Mighty Pat don't care about no 500 EC. I reach out to Mighty Pat because I want to step up the game in St. Kitts Nevis. He was there before. He won Calypso Crown twice and he retired from it. And I asked him, I basically plead to him to come back in for Sugar March 52, and he agreed. This song not releasing tonight because Mighty Pat looking for 500 EC. 500 EC cannot do nothing for Mighty Pat. Cannot do nothing for DJ Morrishaw. But this song will release tonight, right here. And I'm calling out you, Brother Monarch Garo, because you're my partner. You're the director. And all this nonsense you're putting in place, you need to rethink these things. You understand? So let's continue. Submission for this cash incentive will commence on September 1, and the National Carnival Senior Monarch Final will be staged on December 29th. The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee is excited to witness the creative expression that will enhance this year's festival, which will be celebrated under the theme, all with the new crew for Sugar March 52. And, you know, the funny thing about it is, all in all, you know, the funny thing about it is, all in all, it does not even make sense. I'm glad to see that my brother Myla Box is online, because whether Myla Box agree with what I say or not, and the Myla Box write Calypso according to his tenure. And as someone that write Calypso and have to get that Calypso recorded, I am pretty sure that Myla Box know that 500 EC cannot do nothing to record a song in our beloved federation. Like I said, the chairman of this subcommittee, Abanati Libel, his recording studio is 950 upwards US for song. So I don't understand 500 EC. 500 EC for what? And I'm going to go through my conversation here, but you know, because this young man there, Brother Clement Manakagaro, you were given an opportunity to improve Calypso because we think you're capable of doing it. You know, we think you was capable of doing it. So I sent the article that I collected from the Carnival Facebook page to Brother Garo. And I explained to him, I said, partner, it's not about the rules. Basically, I said, good morning, sir. I went on the Carnival Committee's media page and copied the above information to continue our conversation. I am not trying to tell your committee how to do its business. However, I have to agree with the lady who brought this matter to my attention. All of these restrictions and requirements for 500 EC does not make sense, and it does not worth the effort. You know, I said I will be releasing Mighty Pat song on Wednesday via the Facebook Live broadcast, and basically have nothing to do with the $500. I am releasing this song because at the end of the day, it's about the carnival and about things going. But I'm gonna give you, guys, line by line, how the conversation went. Now, when I informed Brother Garo about my concerns with the restrictions for the 500 EC, this was his response to me.
But now restricting the Calypsonians from using social media. All we're saying is that you can put out your song on social media, but it doesn't count. I mean, come on. Rules are rules, and we have to have rules. If we don't have rules, we're going to end up being chaos. People are going to get sued, and we're going to be wasting time doing stuff that is not necessary. I'm sure you understand that.
Now, to respond to Brother Monarch about rules, if the Carnival Committee is concerned about being sued for rules, you know, they should be concerned about the Calypsonians suing them, telling them they cannot use social media to release their songs, while they, the Carnival Committee, are using the same social media for their promotions and their information to the Calypsonians. That's what he needs to be concerned about. And when he sent me that voice note, I responded to him. I said, partner, it's not about rules. This is not 52 years ago when we didn't have social media. Social media is the integral part of our society today. The Carnival Committee uses social media to promote their events. Why the Calypsonians are being restricted from utilizing social media for the release of their songs? That is unfair, because the Carnival Committee is using social media at their benefit at the fullest. So why you want to restrict the Calypsonians while you are using the same medium? And again, here is his response.
It's like you're telling me that there shouldn't be any rules. We decided that we do not want anybody to release on, well, you can release on social media. We're not preventing anybody from releasing on social media. But we want you to release on our media partners as a way to promote the media and as a way to promote the carnival.
Hey. Now, this is the pompous ass of Monarch I don't understand. You want the Calypsonians to release on your local stations as a way to promote their business and as a way to promote their social media. But the same stations that you are asking the artists to release on, they're using the same social media to reach the globe. They are using the same social media to reach the people. So again, I went at him, I said, partner, you should know that rules are required in every facet of life. Social media is where it's at. You all need to get with the time and sensible and understanding when coming up with these ideas. You know, it appears as though that you guys just don't want to get things ready. Again, Brother Monarch, with his pompous response, listen to him again.
Hey, you have rules for what you do. We have rules for what we do. That's the bottom line. I mean, I'm not understanding why you want me to understand you, but you're not understanding me. It's like you're telling me we should have a Calypso competition and let the audience choose the winner.
Again, he's not following the conversation. So at that point, as a partner, it appears as though you are not in sync with the conversation. So let's leave it alone, because you guys are going to butt up your head. And at the end of the day, the Calypsonians will be dealing with things appropriately. So here's response again.
All right, brother, since you're the only one in sync, you have a blessed day as well.
And this is where these guys, I do not know when they are selected to do these things, I mean, where's the common sense? Where's the common sense? Listen to my now.
Boss, we run in the carnival, not you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about being in sync with the conversation. I explained to you exactly what we're trying to do. You want me to do it your way. It's not gonna be your way. It's gonna be the carnival committee's way.
So the Carnival Committee's way is to pressure the Calypsonians and telling them that they have to go out there and come up with a song of quality, done in a studio, properly recorded using XYZ instruments, produce a top-class recording, costing in excess of 950 to 1,000. And I'm using the numbers that I got from Abernathy Library. Abernathy, who is the chairman of Carnival, you know, Abernathy is telling me his average cost for recording is 950 US average. But they're telling the Calypsonians, in order to be qualified for $500 EC for the first release, they must come up with a song. How do you equate 500 EC to 950 US? 500 EC is not even 200 US. So I come here this evening to put it out here to you, the general public, you know. When you all see these people on the street, you want to speak to them. Tell them that stop pressuring our people. Stop killing our people. Because basically that's what they're doing. They are pressuring our people. And I personally have an issue with that. When they're going to come and pressure our people, I have a serious problem with that. And, you know, with that, I'm going to drop this track, this big track from the Mighty Pat. But before I drop this big track from Mighty Pat, I want to go back to a clip that was done last week, Thursday, listening to the brother Big Lice. Big Lice were talking about over 80,000 passports, apparently. 80,000 passports that apparently been sold. He used the terminology sold. I do not know if that is the right terminology, but Big Lice is talking about over 70,000 passports. So the idea of this song really that Brother Pat is going to perform, that I'm going to release tonight, you know, share the life, burn the fire upon them, drop some fire there for me, drop some fire upon them people. So I am going to drop a clip. And if what Big Lice is saying is true, we're going to be aliens in our country, you know, because the population of St. Kitts Nevis is 50-something thousand. And we got over 70,000 CBI passports sold out there. We're going to be outmatched. So take a listen to Big Lice and I'm going to drop Pat's song, okay?
I want you all to listen to this carefully. That 70,000 passports have been sold since the start of the program. Estimated, but close to it. 70,000 passports have been sold. When I say sold, in the citizenship by investment, some people don't like to use the word sold, but 70,000 passports went through that process. 70,000 people. 70,000 passports mean that more passports were sold than our present population of local people, basically. Now, when you do the math, 70,000 at an average of 200,000 US a passport is about 14 billion US dollars. You hear that? 14 billion US dollars. Now, I'm saying over the years, if it's 14 billion, it's almost 40 billion EC. The question, where all the money gone? It's a serious, serious question for us to ponder, you know. Where all that money gone? 14, 15 billion dollars, 40 billion EC. But we need to really look into this CBI thing, you know. Because it means then that a lot of people around here have a lot of money. Boy, and I said that because a lot of us could have been living good lives. And you know what's amazing? And I have a section to talk about the former Prime Minister because he had a press conference here and he said some things that are very disturbing. But he knew, because he was Minister of Finance. He knew of the CBI and how it runs. And to me, it seemed as though all he wanted was to get his hand on that money. Because we still have to investigate. We still have to investigate the prison project. Because we are hearing is well over 5,000 passports were given out down there. 5,000! Where the money gone? Where the money gone to? And as somebody where they say, maybe that is why so many people are upset. And I am calling publicly for us to really look into. We need some kind of forensic accountant or scientist or something to come give us an idea as to how and where we money gone. Because that is a lot of money. And I hope this administration, since we passed so much integrity in this, gonna have to tell us it needs an investigation. Because I said down at the prison, 5,000 passports, that is over $1 billion US. So, where the money? Now, if it's there, tell me. The word on the street also is that the hush puppy case is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing. And some people in national security, they frighten them about because there are going to be some implications. Some people say the money in China.
Well, that is one of the topics that's been going on for the past several years. And when I got wind of the amount of passport, I am not sure if the number is correct, but when I got wind of that information, I spoke with Mighty Pat. I told him I need a song because we're going to soon be aliens in our country. And Mighty Pat in his own true form knock something together. And I'm going to bust it in a bit. But before I bust this song, let me respond to my boy Moilawak's two concerns there, because some people, like you said, don't play politics, but they live, eat, and drink, sleep politics. Moilawak asks a question that if I want the Carnival committee pay for the recording of the artist songs, I don't think that I said that. My statement was what it costs to produce a song. What I am saying is the Carnival committee is restricting the Calypsonians from using the social media platforms to release their songs to benefit of 500 EC that is not a drop in the bucket to pay for what it costs to record a song. That is what I'm saying. The restrictions for the 500 EC, as a matter of fact, 500 EC is not enough to talk about you giving an incentive to a Calypsonian to release a song. What are they going to release with 500 EC? A milk can and a butter pan? I do not know if the price has gone up, but I know a man on a saxophone, a trumpet, or a guitar, you're talking about at least 75 to 100 US per gig. And if it have to be done over, you got to pay it every time. Monarch know these things, we have worked together. So what is $500 EC going to do for that with the instruments they're asking for? And secondly, if I am lying, I'm lying based on information I received from Socraty some years ago. Socraty had said to me that the Carnival Committee, I do not know if it's under Noah or someone else, had made arrangements with studios in St. Kitts. They paid a flat rate. They paid the studio a flat rate for the Calypsonians to come in and record their song and produce their song. As a matter of fact, I think there was some dispute with one Calypsonian who wanted to record at a different studio to where the money was paid for them to do their recording. So these are incentives that you can do to help the Calypsonian. I'm saying on this one, Monarch is wrong. And anybody that's going to be pressuring our local Calypsonians like this, then they're on the wrong side of history. But anyway, I want to drop this one for the Prime Minister, the AG, and the entire St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party cabinet, because I want you all to listen and understand. You all might not have been the politician or the cabinet or the government that put us in this situation. They might have been from the previous Team Unity concussion. It might have been from the previous Labour administration. It might have been from the Simmons administration. It might have been from Batcher administration. I do not know. But what is taking place right now in our beloved Federation, we seems to be aliens because we can't give suggestions. We can't speak to our own people. Sometime, if not last year, the year before, there was kids on the beach in Nevis that was training to participate in track and field. They say a white Russian lady lie across the beach and say the kids cannot run on the beach because that's their property. On Nevis. I understand it was friends of the now Premier, Mark Brankley, and investigation has been going on, and we cannot get any result of that investigation. It's more than a year ago. So we are soon to be aliens in our country. So this one, two, present administration and the people of St. Kitts Nevis at home and abroad. Mighty Pat, 2-time skin out of St. Kitts Nevis, 4-time Calypso King around the globe. But I'm not going to get into all of that right now because time is upon me. But take a quick listen to the Mighty Pat. Alien in my country.
Are you ready? This is Mighty Pat at the control tower. We're going to chant them down. We're going to push them down. We're going to break them down. Get ready to sing. 1, 2, 3. I'm an alien in my country. St. Kitts Nevis, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over slowly in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. St. Kitts Nevis, where I was born, there will be no place for me to hold on. We'll be sinking, we'll be drowning in deep water. There'll be no recover. Power hungry politicians slowly selling outer island to Tom, Dick, anybody who have money. Now look what they make me. I'm an alien in my country. St. Kitts Nevis belongs to we. Foreigners taking over daily in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly, like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. The little job that we used to have. Foreigners take it, while me a starve. The little food that I used to send. Foreigners take him, even that as well. The jobs and businesses here in this country are owned by Arabs, Indians and Chinese. Gone to the beach, this white man tell me to get off of his property. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's needless, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over slowly in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over daily, like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. DJ Morrishaw came and tell me. He said, mighty, listen carefully. There'll be no place in our country left for our we. Watch and you will see. Foreigners will be Prime Minister. Foreigners will be Premier. Foreigners will be Governor. Cause of passport money, we're going back in slavery. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's needless, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over daily in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly, like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. If you are proud to be a Kittitian, if you are proud to be an Asian, then take your flag up in your hand and wave it in any direction. This land belong to you and me. So stand up with pride and dignity and tell them foreigners bully, they ain't gonna chase me out of we country. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's needless, should belong to we. Foreigners taking over daily in our country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly, like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. Put up the flag and wave. Come on, put up the flag and wave. Let me see you say. Put up the flag and wave. Let me hear you say. Put up the flag and wave. Let me see you do it. Wave it, wave it. Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go. Put up the flag and wave. Put up the flag and wave.
And there you go, the first release for Mighty Pat for Sugar Mass 52. An alien in my country, saying it's needless, that shouldn't be. And this is not about, like I said, 500 easy. And Brother Milo, again, as you made a comment that Monarch is online, I just want you to know that I don't talk behind people back like some other people, you know. I sent the link to all of the Carnival committee representatives, because when I talk in meetings, I want people to hear me clear what I'm saying. I am not here to dirty nobody's name in any way. I deal with the issues as I see them, and I would hope that somewhere along the line, we could come to some kind of resolution in the interest of all the people that participate in the Sugar Mass festivities. And I'm just simply saying that it's okay to put up your little incentives and stuff like that, but you don't treat the people them like they don't deserve, whatever the case might be. When you were there, you was there, and you know what the deal is. So again, that is my piece about the situation there, and the Carnival festivities. We're gonna go right across to Charlestown. We don't have much time leave. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties with the audio earlier, but we're still talking about the hospital business there, Nevis. So we're going right across to Charlestown. Take a quick listen to this clip.
Status of the Alexandria Hospital, work there is ongoing. As you know, we have 2 contractors on site. We have Evelyn's Construction and I think Wedge Pemberton Construction. Those have been the 2 contractors that have been with us. We were badly delayed, as we are all aware, because I've said so here during COVID.
Now, I make sure I play that clip that folks could understand, because I've heard the complaint that nobody seems to know who are the contractors that's working on the hospital wing. So again, for clarity, let's hear the Premier giving his update and the 2 contractors that are working on that project.
Status of the Alexandria Hospital, work there is ongoing. As you know, we have 2 contractors on site. We have Evelyn's Construction and I think Wedge Pemberton Construction. Those have been the 2 contractors that have been with us. We were badly delayed.
So those are the folks that are on site that doing the work. We know what the work is, you know. And I'm dropping these clips tonight because people seem to have amnesia about where we're coming from, you know. The reality is that I get several phone calls earlier today, and I got a message this evening about someone calling to a program there on Saturday on Target and appears to threaten the Premier. Now, I went back and I listened to the clip that these folks are talking about. And people, they try to use things that they're convenient and twist it whichever side they want it to be. The caller was passionate about his call. And the caller did use some language that I don't think should have been used. But at no time, the caller had any intention of threatening the Premier's life or anything like that. And I wouldn't condone these things. It doesn't matter how much we call out the politicians for the wrong that they're doing. We want them to be held accountable. But our little nation, they're saying it's Nevis. These kind of criminal homicides and stuff, we're not in favor of that. Moyle not in favor of that. Even the fighting in school and those things, I have a problem with. I don't believe in nobody putting their hand on nobody. I don't believe in nobody taking up a weapon for anybody. There are things in place to deal with these politicians. What we need to do is to hold these attorney generals, these people we have in the public offices who should be holding the PSCs and everybody to the fire who are not doing it. We cannot just jump on the politician them alone. Baby Bentley, what he's doing in Nevis could be stopped. What is taking place is taking place because people allowing it to happen. People accommodating him. So I don't hold Baby Bentley accountable by himself. But I will continue to remind you people, you're good people, because I'm going to play a clip here. You know? I'm going to play a clip here from Hazel Brandy Williams. And you know something? I shouldn't even play that clip because it's going to take up too much time this evening. I need to leave that clip for another time. I think I need to leave that clip for another time and go straight to this one. Because with all the talk, everybody talking, all the talk they're talking, nobody seems to understand. I'm getting some new information here that while we're focusing on $19 million for the hospital wing, while we've been focusing on $19 million for the hospital wing that supposedly started in 2017 and should have been completed in 2019, 2 years later. I'm getting some new information that the original estimate for that hospital wing was $6 million. So let's start from the junior minister. I'm not going to go into Hazy Brandy Williams because she was talking about some 12 something spend and all of that stuff. So, you know, I'm going on and 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 on. But let's say you got to start at the beginning to get to make people understand, right? And there's people online who does not understand, maybe have not heard this before. So, okay, we will start with Hazel Brandy, but we won't play the full clip. So here is Hazel Brandy giving her updates at her budget back in 2021. Her budget.
The only sheriff in town.
No, not the only sheriff in town. No, that is the wrong one. That is the wrong one. We don't want to go with the sheriff in town. We want to go with Hazel Brandy Williams. We're going to leave the sheriff for another week because the sheriff in town, when he came in, he lost his badge. Somebody took it off of him, so I don't want to use that one at all. The sheriff lose his badge somewhere along the line. Yeah, so I want to use just the clip from the budget address clip. Let me try and find that one. That is the one I'm looking for because I know my boy Milo don't like to hear these clips at all. My boy, okay, let's go with the junior minister. Let's go with the junior minister.
Completing the interior is of the highest priority to our administration. That is why $12 million, Madam President, would have been allocated in this budget to ensure its timely completion. And Madam President, some would have you believe that we've blown through the initial $19 million estimate with no hospital to show for it. As Minister Evelyn indicated, Madam President, we like facts on this side. As the young people say, we have our receipts. So, Madam President, to date, we have spent $8,342,443.76 out of the initial $19 million budgeted. We would have only spent $8,342,443.76 out of the initial $19 million budgeted. So when you hear talks of over budget, I want the House to have the official figures on record, not those imagined or otherwise, Madam President.
Now you hear the chorus in the background, the cheering of the full NIA cabinet of CCM, the Premier, Deputy, Evelyn, and all of them, cheering the young lady because she have her receipts. But I want you to hear a few minutes later, or a few days later, the same facts and stats and receipts that they presented. Listen to the Premier giving you his update.
Our new Minister of Health, she came and in her presentation, she would have sought to update the public on some expenditure at the hospital wing, the expansion project. And we recognize that there's been a bit of uncertainty created because she gave a number of, I think, somewhere just over $8 million. And the previous Minister of Health had come, I believe it was in 2021, and given a number which was close to $14 million. So that's a significant difference in terms of how much has been spent. I have asked that that discrepancy be resolved. The information that has come now suggests that perhaps both figures were incorrect. And I will undertake that we will have a full number available to the public as soon as we can. And the reason that I do not have it today, Madam President, is because we have been advised that we have been affected adversely by the cyber attack that we had. And so some of the numbers, I'm told, they have to retrieve manually, which has created a bit of a difficulty in us getting it for today, because I wanted to respond and clarify the situation today. As the figures.
So Baby Brantley came and he give his update and that. And every week or every month, a hospital that was painted in 2022 and look like it's completed and ready to open in December. We are now in 2023, September, you know. And now we're closer to laying tiles or putting in facets in the building, you know. I'm playing these clips because some of you, Nivisions, some of you kitty shots, find it natural to get upset with people like myself, the great DJ Morrishaw, for keeping the things real, to let you, the people, know how your tax dollar has been squandered. But they're not going to squander the money, you know. They're not going to throw away the money. They will not even waste time buy you lunch or dinner with their money. They wouldn't waste time buy you a drink with their money. But they're squandering millions of your tax dollar while they're being paid handsomely to do it. So for those of you who do not like the idea that I'm keeping it in the atmosphere to remind you all what's going on with your government, tough. But these clips will be played week after week after week until we get the problem resolved. Baby Brantley must go. They're not good for Nevis. If nothing else should take him out of there, the bad spending, Timothy Harris, his former prime minister, said he's a bad spender. The more he gets, the more he spends. He's a bad spender. This is not Morrishaw saying that. This is his former prime minister saying this. And it's been displayed time and time again. Let's continue listening to the clip. Listen to Baby Brantley again.
That have been provided. It was noted, and I think this is important, that the figures given to the Honorable Janelle Nisbet for purposes of a February 21st, 2023 presentation appeared to only represent funds paid to local contractors and did not include pre-construction expenses, consultations, etc. Efforts were made to retrieve the additional information. However, the data was deemed inaccessible due to the ransomware attack on the Nevis Island administration, which had taken place a few weeks earlier. The technical team therefore had to reconstruct the database on manual receipts dating back to 2016, when the preliminary work and the research started for this project. The task, I'm advised, was extremely technical and time-consuming, and thus the process has only now been completed. I say that to explain the delay in coming back to the public, having given that assurance that we'd come back somewhere around the 22nd or 23rd of February. The full breakdown of all associated costs has now been done, and the total expenditure to date is $17,210,820.74. So the number to date is $17,210,820.74.
Again, that's Baby Brantley giving the up-to-date money that was spent. That is when we were thinking about 19 million. But if you go on the NIA website, you will realize that this project originally cost 6 million. It went from 6 million on advance to 19 million, and now is in excess of 30 million, according to the information I'm gathering. And they just approved another 12 million in their budget there in January. This is your tax dollar that you didn't envision. As a matter of fact, we, the Kitchener Division, because federal funds going to end up bailing out Nevis out of this mess. Federal funds. So I want to bring it to the attention of the Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Terence, you and your team. Some kind of investigation needs to be done about what's taking place at that hospital wing. You cannot turn a blind eye and act like it's not there. If you got a stinking sore foot and you just put chlorine on it with a Band-Aid and ignore it and think that it's going to heal, it's not going to heal. It's going to get worse. You might get gangrene. You might lose your foot, eventually lose your life. what is taking place at the Alexandria Hospital wing and Nevis must be the concern of every petition and division. Doesn't matter which party you support. You must be concerned about what's taking place there. Otherwise, we're going to have a serious problem. A serious, serious problem. Let's listen to Baby Brantley ranting again, because all we get weekly is lies after lies after lies. So take a listen.
In terms of the additional costs to the budget, I don't want to misspeak. I believe that the numbers I saw were just over $500,000 US that the cost was. So the additional work to get where we need to be at the Alexandria Hospital. The consultants, I'm aware, have been on island. I don't know if they're still here, but certainly they've been here over the past week. And we expect that the contractors are going to be back at work very shortly. Recall that we stopped the work, the shell having been completed, the building having been completed in terms of the exterior. We stopped the work so that we could know that the flow of the interior was exactly what we needed. And so we now have that. We brought the expertise to bear, and we anticipate that the work will resume very shortly. Once that work resumes, we expect to be able to inaugurate that new wing of the hospital by next year, 2022. And we know it's been a while. We know it's been a significant investment thus far, but we think that it will catapult Nevis into the next 20, 30 years in terms of healthcare and our ability to deliver healthcare to our people. So we think that it's an investment that is worthwhile, and that will pay dividends for us down the road.
So according to Premier Brantley, with everything that was going on and all of the blah, 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 he tells you in 2021 that this hospital will be ready to inaugurate in 2022. We are in 2023, heading into 2024, and it's on pause. Let's continue listening. Let us continue listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Monique, for your questions, as always. Update on the hospital. I confess that I didn't get an update prior to coming here, but the last update I had, which I believe was about 3 weeks ago, was that the physical construction is practically at an end. And we are now, let me go back, sorry, I don't want to be misquoted. The physical construction, insofar as the exterior is concerned, the shell, the walls and roof and all of that is pretty much at an end. We are now moving to the more delicate stage, which is the internal configuration. And we have agreed to hire a consultant on that aspect of things, because what we are being advised by the experts is that a hospital has to flow in a particular way. So this room has to be next door to that room and that kind of thing. So we are now engaged in that. I'm told that the project is on stream. We had some hiccups, as you know, due to COVID. The last update I had, as I said, which was about 3 weeks ago, was that we are probably going to be another 12 months before we can speak about any type of end for that project. So we're looking at another 12 months or so, because we, of course, have to outfit the interior, we have to get the equipment, and we have to do all that. So people come.
You know, the funny thing about it is we don't have the time tonight to go through all of the clips and to give the updates. I'm just running through them real quickly, folks, because if it was not so serious, it'll be laughable. As I said, we're about to go and watch some CPL, so I'm just going to drop 1 or 2 of the clips and I'm out of here.
Today, we had an update on our hospital project. I think many people would know that the hospital project has been on pause. It has been on pause because we've been trying to get some quantity surveys done on the interior work. Unfortunately, we would have partnered with a particular professional who has not yet produced, despite the timelines that had been given. And so today we discuss going to alternatives, because naturally we can't have one individual holding up an entire project. And so certainly I would hope that by my press conference, which I try to do monthly, I may have an additional update for you in terms of where we are on that particular project.
So my good people, every week, every press conference, the message been pushed, somebody getting blamed. about what is taking place and what is going on. The reality of the day is, the reality of the day is that these people does not know how to manage anything. How could you go out there and put down a hospital? And you are telling me now, sometime later, that you are waiting to see, how it flow, what go where, and how things go where, and this go where, and this thing, and all of that nonsense. That does not make sense, brother Bante. That does not make sense. If you're building a house, you must know what you want in your house before you even start building it. You're talking about a hospital. So let's take a final listen to this clip.
In terms of the hospital project, I had hoped today that I would have had an update, but I do not. And the reason I do not is because we are still waiting on some quantity surveys that are to be done. We had hired and paid for those to be done by a professional on St. Kitts. Suffice it to say that that professional has taken the money but not delivered. And so we have been forced midstream to change course. I'm told now that we have outsourced that activity to an entity in the US, and I hope that I should be able to come back to you in short order with an update on that. And if not myself, then the Minister of Health should be able to come with an update. If that update comes prior to my next press conference, we will share that update.
So the situation is here. The blame is now shift from the architect and from Premier Brantley and the folks that are messing up the hospital, ringing St. Kitts, to an individual on St. Kitts. I warned the Prime Minister before that this geothermal project at Nevis, Baby Brantley is setting himself up that if things does not come to fruition, to blame it on the federal government. That is what's taking place right now. This guy don't have a clue what is happening, what is going on. They don't have any vision. They see people doing things and they figure they could do it too because they went to college, they went to university, they are scholars. But everybody have a little talent. And you need to let the people who is capable of executing these projects and this talent to do their work. So right about now, I'm going to drop the unofficial national anthem for St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise by the late great King Arrow. But I will end where I start. And I can say this. Who want to hate DJ Morrishaw for bringing facts and bringing the information to the general public? Feel free. DJ Morrishaw have no hate for anyone. I bring information here to be discussed and to be enlightened. And the issues I discussed earlier is not no attacking anyone, but we need to address what is taking place at the Carnival office. We need to address what can be done to help our Calypsonians. The culture is dying, and it's dying very fast. Very, very fast. Some of us out here trying our best. I was able to convince 2 Calypsonians from here in the New York metropolitan area, Brother Williams and Brother Green, to try and participate in Sugar Mass 52, because I want to keep the culture alive. I was able to convince the mighty Pat out of St. Croix, out of Canary by way of St. Croix, to come and participate. My good people, it is not an easy task for someone who living in the diaspora to run back and forth to go to the elimination process and all of these things. So what I'm saying to the Carnival Committee, think about facilitating, think about how you can help foster the Calypsonians that we have left and try and bring new blood into the stream. Our culture is dying fast. It's not a slow death. I can see it dying very fast. And you know something? It is unfair that there's people being paid good money to help restore. And instead of them restoring, their attitude and their approach is bringing it down. I have said in the past, I have confidence in my brother there, Clement Monaco Garo. And I still have confidence in him in some areas. But on this particular topic, we're going to disagree. I have confidence in Abernathy Liebert. He has the structural ability to advance the Calypsonians. He's an arranger. He's a producer. He knows to master. He knows to listen. He got the ear for music. So I want to believe that he has the ability to advance the culture. I am not hitting you all. I'm not cussing you all. I want you all to listen. Lend the ear to the common man, to the local man. Try your best to listen and see how best we can facilitate. DJ Morrishaw can't sing. DJ Morrishaw have no benefit out of this. I just love to hear the music. I love culture. Back in the days, the Calypsonians was our messengers. They keep notes of what happened throughout the year. And come Carnival, they was able to present their version of what they see in song. That don't happen anymore. People afraid to sing because they're going to be subject to all kind of victimization from government. Even members from Carnival Committee want lyrics in advance because they want to ban people's song and they want you to change your lyrics. There was a group of people that don't ever still exist in St. Kitts, but they used to call nigger business. During the Christmas season, they go around from house to house. And anybody who having problem, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they dress up in their clothes and they play them and we had fun. Our culture is going down the drain. And I will not stand by idly and don't have my 2 cents. Until such time, my good people, I will say good evening to Sister Gwyneth Morrishaw. Good evening to my son, dear Jeffroy Jr. in the LA area. Thanks for reaching out and let me know that there was no sound coming through on your end. You're a good assistant technician, so I appreciate you, Sister Jazette. I want to big up my engineer there, Brother Ike, keeping me afloat. The man Elvan Ellie, thanks for all of your hard work, my brother. I can't afford to pay you yet, but eventually you will get what is due to you. I want to thank Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band for his accommodation this week. I want to say a special good evening there to my sister Esther over there in Tartola, Makish and the kids. Hope all is well. I want to big up my boy Dean Baptist there in St. Croix as well, Alvin Baptist, and all your guys who accommodated me this week. I want to say good evening to my brother there, Brother Carl Morris and St. Thomas, Sister Valicia Morris, Brother Alvan Brown, Patsy Brown, Ralph, and the crew. Hope all is well and your guys' end. My uncle there, Eustace in St. Croix, my cousin Kent and St. Thomas, Sister Pamela, my favorite cousin there, Sister Natalie Carty, Caroline Connor, and crew, my sister there, Cicely Brown of Nevis, Pastor Brown, and you're somewhere around the globe. Brother Jeff Pemberton, Sister Janice Daniel Hodge. How about my girl there, Sister J.D. King, Sister Patty Bartlett. Hope all is well with you guys. Brother Carbo, I just want you guys to know that we will be hanging at Brother Carbo for a pre-Heroes Day event on the 15th of September. So all you folks that going to be in Nevis and you're looking someplace to hang out and have some lovely fungi and fish and green bananas, goat water, it will be on the at Carbo's on the 15th of September. That's Friday the 15th, starting at midday. Come across by Carbo. If you know you're going to come to Carbo later than 12, make sure that you call Carbo. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find Brother Carbo number somewhere here, because if you know you're going to run late, you need to call in advance to get your goat water. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. Goat water don't stay on hand at Carbo's. Goat water go very, very, very fast at Carbo's. So it's Carbo is over there in Fountain, Nevis. And his number is 869-663-9694. That's 869-663-9694. Check out Brother Carbo. Book your dish in advance. That's September 15th. We're going to be right there. Carbo's a pre-Heroes Day, National Heroes Day affair. We're going to be dropping some dominoes, having a drink, talking the things, hanging with DJ Morrishaw right there at Carbos. That's September 15th. Don't forget. I want to big up Sister Annette Morton, Sister Hazel Claxton, Sister Deli Keynes and Co, Sister Ann, how you all doing? Sister Ann Farrell Smith, Corey Bennett, how you doing? Sister Tracy Powell, Tracy Davis, Sister Laura Williams, hope all is well with you. Brother Uncle Joseph there at the Garvey's estate, Brother Kent Gonzalez, Sister Debbie, hope all is well with you guys. It's unfortunate that time is out. We're about to start some actions here with CPL, so I'm going to drop the unofficial anthem here. The King Arrow, I am out of here. Sister Cora Bennett, hope all is well with you, everything is good. My mascot there, Sister Dorothy Allen, Gwyneth Morrishaw, Beverly Morrishaw. Sister Naomi Ward, hope all is well with you.
Country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Maladministration building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Building a wall so massive or a bridge, don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. All my country in disharmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, man, that's the sound of the late great King Arrow. This country is yours, all yours. Sister Hazel Claxton, I'm sorry that you're not happy that the program has come to a close, but you know, the program is there. You can go back and look at the rebroadcast via Facebook and YouTube. I'm pretty sure my technician there, Brother Elvin Ellie, will have it up shortly. So just, I'll speak to you in a bit. Just take it easy and everything's cool. Good evening, Sister Tamika. I hope you enjoyed the program. It was a quick one this evening as we getting ready to watch some CPL, but I'll be back here next Wednesday, same place, same time, 5 p.m., where we continue the good conversation about what's transpiring there at the Carnival office, what's transpiring in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, as we continue to speak about our independence celebrations. And as you know, the Prime Minister will be making his round with his team across wherever the job may take him, as nationals around the globe will be celebrating our 40th anniversary of independence. I only can wish him a safe journey and to be thankful to him, to the Almighty, that we have a change of government. Without a change of government, a lot of them out there who want to kill the DJ today would be out there crying still, trying to get a work. But because of the hard work and dedication of the DJ, fighting in the valley for them, they now have position and want to show disrespect. But guess what? DJ is capable of reminding you all how the things are, you know? So until such time as we meet again, I want to give condolences, send condolences to my brother there, Brother Ira McMahon, lost his younger brother today at the age of 61. Another good one have bite the dust. As you know, people, all I'm getting every day is the sad news of someone who is passing. So let us be our brother keeper. As Dwyer said in his commentary, let's use our common sense, let's use our brain. Ignore the fake news out there. Listen to the conversations and, as they would say, pick sense out of nonsense and see what makes sense. Because the record will show all of the wrongs that are taking place at Nevis is going to come to light very shortly. The situation there in St. Kitts with all of the corruption that transpired in that 7 years will be coming to light very shortly. A lot of them was quiet and still quiet. You know why? Because they was a part of the problem. They encourage and support the former Prime Minister and his team to do those wrongs to the country. Don't forget, it was a tri-party government. The team unit construct basically was made up of our current CCM party, which is in the NIA, which is on the opposition bench in the federal cabinet. Every one of them was there during that last 7 years. Don't let them fool you. The People's Action Movement, PAM, led by Sean Richards, and the PLP, led by Timothy Harris, the former Prime Minister. So when you all see Sean Richards and Timothy Harris and Mark Brantley, remind them that they're the one have us in the mess that we're in. Because it's not one time I call them. It's not one time I try to speak to them. I'm talking about all three of them. Sean Richards, Timothy Harris, and Mark Brantley. I reach out to them to let them know what they're doing. They're going on the wrong road. But apparently they was happy with what they were getting. So DJ Morrishaw wasn't relevant at the time. But when I got up and tell the former Prime Minister, I'm going to try you in the public square, and I'll speak to the next Prime Minister. Some of them have me to kill. Well, look, they are benefiting now. They are benefiting now. They're on boards. They're on committees. They're getting a paycheck. And they still continue to disrespect. So my good people, this is the only place I can come and bring the facts to you. So until such time, I want to say thanks to all your online viewers. Thanks for your support. I know many of you online listen. You don't comment because you don't want to be called out. You don't want to get caught up in the way. But when you meet me in person, you always give me your blessings. And I want to thank you for that. Until such time, have a good evening. I will see you next Wednesday.